Hello, it's 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the RTD ordinary meetings, central promotions of citizens' political awareness through dialogue and proximity. For the international scene, migrants try to force entry into the EU. Welcome to our newsroom. The popular Rally for Progress opened this morning at the People's Palace. Upon his arrival, the president of the party and president of the republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, accompanied by the First Lady and President of the National Union of Djiboutian Women, Khadra Mahmoud Haid, was welcomed by the Vice President of the party and Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, with the Secretary General, Minister of Finance, Ilyas Moussa Dawale. The great halls of People's Palace was at this aid in a festive atmosphere. So once back home, the President and the First Lady received a standing ovations. These 41 sessions anniversaries of the party brought together, in addition to the high member of the party, the Central Committee, militant, all wanting the best for their country, linked to our common destiny in a spirit not partisan but citizen, meeting on the themes of promoting the political consciousness of our fellow citizens through social dialogue, theme that is part of the proximity policy toward the people that the party chairman initiated. In other words, an exercise that reflects the permanent will of the party to be open to dialogue with all actors, wherever their horizons, with a single common denominator being as citizens, and awareness that each individual is conscious on his or her role in the national project or construction site, always working for the majority. This fruitful debate oppressed question is inherent to citizenship and patriotism. It allows for an exchanges on ways and means of placing the citizens at the heart of social, economic, political transformation. These exchanges made it possible to give impetus, a new impetus, a path that of social progress, that for the well-being of all the population. It should remember that this consultation between the party and its populations, it is the first of its kind, such since the inception the RPP has advocated the sharing of values and respect, which are cardinal values. In his speech, the Vice President stressed that these foundations are these consultations which constitute a privileged frame and reference for the emulations and sharing values that the party embodies. Listen to the report.
Promouvoir la conscience politique citoyenne par le dialogue et la proximité.
Promoting political awareness of citizens through dialogue and proximity is the theme chosen this year. The theme is undoubtedly the sign of mortalities is gone. The popular rally for progress of our president is for all of us. These are the essential conditions for building a strong nation based on foresight and a dream. Was intended the citizen meetings organized by between parties, the successive tours undertaken by the government quickly, also by the President of the Republic witness in the supreme interest, and we grant to these contacts without intermediary with the citizens a sound, an inclusive participation, and a political courage of which few leaders can prevail themselves. They were fundamentally a space of dialogue and a space of exchange and learning and awareness for the citizens. These meetings of proximity moreover allowed and gauged the degree of satisfaction of the governmental action felt and at the same time to collect directly the concerns expressed in various fields by a very large audience, broad and knowledgeable from all walks of life, our country's policies.
The President of the Party and President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, first of all thanks all the activists who came to celebrate this 41st anniversary. Further on is testify your attachment to dialogue, to social cohesion. We are listening to him.
الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Chers militants,
it is with great pleasure that I am gathered here today, as I do every year, to celebrate the birth of our party with the same passion and enthusiasm that inspired our elders and the founding fathers. This passion and enthusiasm we hold within us, in our conviction and our movement, is on the right path, on the path of progress, the path of assembly and the path of national unity. Our party, born in the wake of national independence, in an environment full of turbulence and uncertainty of all kinds, has served as the backbone of our country to assert our national sovereignty, first of all, but also to nurture and blossom our 12th identity, but also to build our unity in our economic development. Today, and then 4 decades later, I have the satisfaction of seeing, with all of you here present, but also our activities, a helping hand. Our axis and neither our movement nor the ambitions have been eroded by time. And today, more than yesterday, we have and we will need our party, an experienced but also partly without ceases, regenerated, they revive would have a party open to all change and all innovations. Dear militants, the change of and innovation are constitutive of the DNA of our party, what avoids us conservatism and immobility.
In the second part of his speech, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, recalled that inclusive dialogue is by its very nature an activity that also helps to promote democratic practices enabling all components of society. Listen to this report.
Chers militants,
dear activists, serve leaders, the spirit of rallying which animates us and our party cannot be dissociated from the spirit of responsibility, which must guide our actions and our decision. Yes, the responsibility of activists as well as leaders is the main requirement for the success of the rally of ideas and energy, but also and beyond, the rally of all the potentials of our country. And it is within this framework and in the logic of the citizen meetings initiated by the party that I wanted to go to meet our compatriots wherever they are in order to better listen to them, to better understand their difficulties, but also to give body and life to their aspirations and their proposals. Because our compatriots who better than themselves know and make known their desire and their priority, I will continue in the coming years this immersion with our fellow citizens in the regions, always with the same objective. Listening is always charged with the same concerns, ensuring that economic development certainly communicates with social development and impacts positively the living conditions of our populations. Dear militants and dear leaders, the primary responsibility of our party is above all to be listened to this, the request for any political action, listen to the critics, listen to the proposals, listen to the recommendations of our fellow citizens. This is also the political responsibility. This responsibility, you activists and leaders, you must exercise it without cacophony while respecting each other's rules, because the more we listen to our people, the more we will be able to build our common future. Live the RBB, live the Republic of Djibouti.
President of the Republic, in his address in Somali languages, has indicated in views of the annual balance sheet of the party's Central Committee presented to us by the Secretary General. Listen to him, please.
In view of the annual balance sheet of the party's Central Committee presented to us by the party's SG, we note a major step forward in our political formation towards full financial autonomy that will enable us to meet all the party's needs and at the same time finance its activities. This does not mean that we are closing the door to our dedicated activities and generous contributors. As for the financial resources, we reiterate our commitment before God and before you, dear party activists, to serve the people who have placed their trust in us and to put all our decision-making powers at the service of the people who have placed their trust in us. And first and foremost, to preserve national unity, which is our most sacred assist, and to preserve it at all costs. With the political maturity of our people, we must confront all forms of destabilization where they come from, and I reaffirm from this rostrum that the Republic of Djibouti is beyond the reach of any attempt at division. As Djibouti is our only land, that is to say, our country is our common good, our citizens are mature and confident in our ability and willingness to respond to their aspirations and concerns.
For the second part of his address, the President of the Republic say it is the duty of every citizen to please everyone at his and her own level to preserve national unity. Listen now.
It is the duty of every citizen to please everyone at his or her own level to preserve national unity. Our fellow citizens are responsible and witness of the realities we are living, and also witness the work done and the socio-economic realities on the ground. Therefore cannot be deceived by information propagated by malicious spirits who are totally ignorant of the realities of this country. These malicious spirits have perverted this very use of the internet, which is above all a tool of exchange in knowledge, to turn it into an arena for intoxication, insults, and the propagation of unfounded information. This is not specific to our country, but it is also a widespread practice throughout the world, and we believe that this cannot reach us or hinder our progress. It is up to you, members of the Central Committee, to be informed about the daily life of our fellow citizens, to be among them, to share with them their social life in difficult times, as well as times of celebration. You will be imbued with our realities, and this is the only way that will allow our party to move forward. I sincerely advise you to be vigilant in the face of these attempts at nuisance from the outside. We enjoy the confidence of our fellow citizens, as well as our African, Arab, and other partners. And you know as well as I do that our country has its voice in all international bodies. That is what we must not lose sight of. Furthermore, I would like to remind you that the SG has informed us of the non-payment of membership dues. This symbolic sum is first and foremost the members' link with the party. It is also the link that unites us and our belonging to this party, which is the Popular Rally for Progress.
After the officials, the leader of the party, its vice president, and its general secretary had an exchanges with the party's activists from the civil society present. During this fruitful debate, the discussions were responsible and sincere questions on how to awakens political and citizens' consciousness, the role of the individual in his country, the role to be played by the annexes. These meetings for this 41st anniversaries of the RPP party served as an incubator with the common goals of all working for the country that of the republic based on the values of unity, equality, and peace to preserve national unity in diversity. After the debate, the President proceeded to the presentation of a certificate to Ms. Mariam Musa, President of Wahda Annex, Mr. Usman Hared Gadat, President of the Hayable Annex, Mr. Ali Muhammad Ali Gadile, President of the Tajura Annex, for their exemplary work without respect to the efforts made. They worked for the values that founded the party, that of unity and sharing among their fellow citizens. Finally, the President presented a party membership card to the singer Wale Adan.
dadkii ku dhaqnaa way dheeldheeligu taabtay dharaartaad xilka aabbo qaade lagu dhaarshay dhannaatay hagaagtay isbeddel dhacay awgii dhibtii laga raysay daraartaad xilka aabbo qaatee lagu dhaarshay dhammaatay way hagaagtay isbeddel dhacay awgii dhibtii laga raysay cashii dhutinaysay dhaqsay orodooday intay dhogor saartay dhankay la aroortay maalay dhammaa tidhi aabbo dhil qudha ku wadaaga oo dhargaa tidhi aabbo dhergaa way dhargaa tidhi aabbo
Balbala 7 School organized yesterday mornings in this school year a giant fair for the benefit of primary schools. This great initiative was initiated by the school directors under the team working for the development and well-being of the child. Thousands of children of basic education accompanied by their parents enjoyed this moment of entertainment and savored this festival. More than 10 game stands were on the menus of the fair's activity. Among the many games offered, one could read on the signs posted next to each stand: ticket sales, stake races, soccer game, makeup, duck fishings, chamble two. Moving from one to the others, the many children who took part in this great adventure had a great time during this gigantic party. Many toys and gifts were distributed for the children who won in the different stands. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity distributed donations of emergency materials to families received by Saudi Arabia's Anglais and Ali Sabih region. More than 500 families have benefited from this support, and this will continue in the other regions. This distribution is part of a social assistance program for poor families affected by disaster. The event was attended by the technical advisors of the Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Mahmoud Bile, representative of the King Salman Center for Humanitarian and Social Aid, the Deputy Prefect of Dakhel region, and Ali Sabih, many other officials. The grant consists of tents, blankets, maize, and food parcel for vulnerable families in the interior regions. The Djibouti Table Tennis Federation is organized on March 5 and 6, 2020 at Guled Stadium a training course for referees for the first time. This course was led by a national expert, in this case Mohamed Suge Subani, international referee trainer, first degree. This course had brought together 20 trainees, including 7 girls. The trainees received during 2 days a basic training on the equals and rules of the table tennis. This course was also beneficial as the federation has organized championships and has noticed that the level of players in this area have improved considerably. The federation has always given priority to the continuous trainings of their staff. The federation thanks the Secretary of State and his Hassan Mohammed Kamil for all the efforts he has given to this support. The Djiboutian Federation of Dakar organized the Cup of the Zone North Tajra Oboch within the sports complex of the White City. More than 100 participants. Dakar present itself for this great event in the presence of the under director of Ali Ibrahim of the sports complex responsible for Dakar. Thanked the prefect of Tajura and president of the regional council to welcome him warmly and facilitate good runnings of this event. Abu Bakr Douale Wais, former Secretary General of the Ministry of Habitat, Housing and Environment, died in this morning, Saturday, March 7, 2020, at around 8 at sudden death after having accomplished in prayers of the mosque near his home. The deceased Abu Bakr is the brothers of Abdul Qadir Duale Wais, chairpersons of the National Coordinations of APRM. The deceased left behind him a widow and 7 children. Funeral ceremony will begin tomorrow, Sunday, 8 March, at his home. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, there is a chaos on the Greek-Turkish border since Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced the opening of its border to the European Union. Listen to this report.
There is chaos on the Greek-Turkish border since Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced the opening of its borders to the European Union. Several thousand migrants have headed to Greece. As a result, clashes with the Greek police have increased. According to Athens, Turkish forces also fired tear gas on the Greek side, and Turkish authorities are accused of also disturbing equipment to cut the fences preventing migrants from crossing to the Greek side. The EU has confirmed to migrants that its border remains closed. The 2016 agreement between the EU and Turkey to restrain migrants in exchange for financial assistance seems to be dead. The European Union has denounced blackmail as Ankara calls for the Western support in Syria, where Turkey is conducting a military operation.
This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.